62b.
Yeah.
And we're at Amar of Papa. It's 5 lines from the bottom. One thing very important that we missed out, which we're going to mention again today, but Rashi mentioned in yesterday's Gemara that we only eat birds that we have a Maseris for, as we're going to see today.
What?
Okay, so Rav Papa says, Mardu, the bird Mardu, Zagid V'achel, if it's the reclining and eating one, then that's shari, that's permissible to eat. However, Sagid V'achel, if it's the bowing one and eating one, that's asr. That you're not allowed to eat. V'simanach, and a sign to remember which one is you shall not bow down to another god. So that's a sign that the forbidden one is the bowing one. Amar Shmuel. Shmuel says Shas Yechamra Asira. The bird that's called a wine drinker, that's forbidden. The simanach, and a way to remember which bird is the forbidden one, it's Shesu Yayin Psulun Ma'avayda. Someone that a kohen that drinks wine is forbidden to do the service. So that's a way of remembering that a wine drinker bird is forbidden to eat. Just like a kohen that drinks wine is forbidden to do the service. Bamar Shmuel, Mazga Chamra Asira. One that drinks wine, a bird that drinks wine, it says the name of a bird, or mixes wine, this is forbidden. On the top of the page, Bas Mazga, a little wine, Bas Mazga Chamra, a little wine mixer, that's the name of this bird, that's Sharia, that's permissible. The Simanech, and a way to remember this is Yafa Kayach Ben Mikayach Av, that the little one is better than the big one, than the father. The son is better than the father. Now, I would have liked a different one, that a little bit of wine is good, but too much is no good, but I didn't use that sign. Okay. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says, Shakitna. Shakitna is translated in the Steinsaltz as a flamingo. Says that's how it is, at least in modern Hebrew as well. Doesn't mean anything. Rashi says that there's two types, but the ones that have long legs and a red body are permissible. So ariche shake v'sumke, long legs in red, shaya is permissible. V'simanech, and the way to remember this is murzuma. Now, this doesn't help us much, but this was the name of a bird that was kosher, that was also red and long legs. Gutzi v'sumki, if it's short and red, that's asiri. V'simanech, and a way of remembering this is nanas pasal. A midget is a psul for a kohen. So the midget flamingo is also not kosher. Apparently, the flamingo would be a kosher bird according to this, if we have the correct translation. Does the art scroll say flamingo?
Well, let's see.
This is Florida. It's also to say flamingo.
The flamingo.
They'll arrest you if you go see the flamingo. My travel Gemara.
Ariche saki yiruki, if it has long legs and it's yellow or green, that's asiri. That's a forbidden bird. V'simanech, in a way of remembering which bird is forbidden, is yirukim psulin. This we had, that if a bird flies into fire and its innards turn yellow, that means that it's a treifa. So here we're saying that the yellow is not a good color for this bird. Okay. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says, you know what, let's take a look at two places here in the Chumash. We're going to need Vayikra Yud Aleph and Dvarim Yud Daled. So if you have a Chumash, Vayikra Yud Daled. Vayikra Yud Aleph. That's what it is. Yeah, up there. There's that you're lucky. There's a living Torah. You see that? Well, the other one is even better. The middle one, the blue, yeah. That'll keep you busy. Here, if you want a chumash, here, so you can just see what's going on.
Smith, there's an opinion that whoever bird has webbed feet is kosher.
Right.
So flamingo has webbed feet.
Ooh.
Uh-huh.
Which makes flamingo soup. Flamingo soup sounds good. Tomorrow morning.
Flamingo
soup.
Yeah.
Okay, and Pasuk Yud Gimel in chapter 11, verse 13. It says, these are the birds that are not kosher in Vayikra. Vayikra Yud Aleph. Vayikra Yud Aleph. Pasuk Yud Gimel. Very good.
It's the Eily shot.
No, you have the right Gemara, you have enough coffee, we're ready to go. Very well prepared. The Nesher, we're on Samach Gimel. You're just like me. We're gonna look through this list. There's the Nesher, the Peres, and the Ozniya. Those we're familiar with. In Pasuk Yud Gimel, you see that?
Mm-hmm.
It's the first three. Now it's going to get confusing. It says Da'a and Aya. Those we didn't see yet. Da'a and Aya. And then we said Eis Kol Oirev. We saw the Oirev. Oirev is only one sign. And now we mention Laminai. Okay, we said Aya Lamina as well. Basayana, Tachmas, Shochaf, Vesaneitz Lamineo. The Nates we mentioned also, I think. Because the Nates, we said, has all four signs, right? But did we say the Nesher had four signs or the Nates had four signs? Does anyone remember? The Nesher
has four bags.
The Nesher has four. Okay. Vesakois, Vesashalach, Vesayanshuf. We're going to talk about, Rabbi Yehuda is now going to talk about the bird, the Shalach. Vesatin Shemes, Vesakos, Vesaracham, Vesachasida, Anafal, Lamina, Vesaduchivas, Vesatalef. Okay. We're going to refer back to this because we're going to contrast this to the way it's listed in Devarim. Because we have the birds again listed in Devarim, and they're slightly different. So, let's leave this. And now let's go. Rabbi Yehuda says, Shalach. What is the Shalach bird? We're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines from the top.
Stay away from my car.
Oh, I left the charts. Rabbi Yehuda is the second generation Amira. The professor comes, well, I'll get it. The Shalach. Zehashela Dagam and Ayam. This is the bird that Shola.
It's fish in the water.
Yeah, what's the word for
Pelican?
catching fish?
Pelican?
Yeah, maybe a pelican. They don't say over here. They call it a fish owl in the Steinsaltz.
Oh, he has two birds here. One's called
okay.
a fish owl and one's called a pelican.
Uh-huh. So who's talking over here? This is Rabbi Yehuda that's talking. But we're going to jump back to Rabbi Yochanan now. Rabbi Yochanan, I'm sorry, I missed. Tani Nami Hachi, I missed something. It says Duchifas. What about the Duchifas? Which yesterday someone mentioned. Hupo? That's the name of a bird. Shahaydei Kafas. That that's in there? Mm-hmm. That what's it called, the thing on the top of the bird?
Crest?
The crest?
Oh, the crown?
Is inside. The crown is inside. Should I hold this up? Oh, wow. So, I guess that's normally a bird has the crest going up. This one has it flattened down. Now it's understood.
Has hair gel.
It's understood that it's, at least according to Rashi, that it's like folded inward.
It's the national bird of Israel.
No, I think it's the same bird. It's saying that
Oh, it
normally
could
it's
open it
slipped
up?
back and then it's like a peacock and then it goes up.
Oh, so interesting. I always thought it was strange that we call it turkey, tarnagal, hodu. No, what is hodu? Hodu means India. I figured they came to America. They saw this thing within the middle. They said it must be an Indian bird because it has a mohawk. What did they know? Okay. But the hodo means the crest of the bird is kafas, goes in, and that's the duchifas. Tanya nami hachi. It's also taught in a Bais. Duchifas shahidu kafas. The crest is folded inward. V'zeu shehevi shamir lebeis hamikdash. There's a Gemara Gittin that discusses how Shlomo Melech got the shamir worm that's used to cut through rocks. And it turns out that the bird, the duchifas, which the Targum calls Nagar Tura. The Targum calls it Nagar Tura. So that it breaks mountains. How does it break the mountains? It uses this bird. So what the Gemara says is that if there's a mountain that nothing is growing on it, so it brings over this worm, it cracks it, and then it weathers the rock into soil, and things could grow there then. So this is the bird that brings the shamir. Rabbi Yochanan ki avichazi shalach. When Rabbi Yochanan would see the shalach bird, which we translated as the fish owl, Amar mishpetechatayim rabba, saying about God's judgment, that He judges in the deep, which means that the fish that are going to get caught through this bird is through God's judgment. Shkacha pratis. It's a proof to the Baal Shem Tov's, right? Ki havichazi namala, when he would see an ant, Amar tzidkascha kahare. Is it kel? Is it referring to God, or is it referring to strong mountains?
Mighty mountain.
What is it?
Mighty mountain.
Oh, mighty mountains. It's kascha kariyah. That your judgment, your righteousness, or your justice, is like the mighty mountains, which means that the ant gets provided for as if it's like this tremendous mountain. So God provides for every creature what it needs.
Amen.
Amar Ameimar. Ameimar says, Likni uvitni. Two names of birds. Sharyan. Those are permitted birds. However, Shiknai uvitnai, those are different. Depends. Makim shenagu lechal. If it's a place that it's customary to eat them, then oichlen, you can eat them. Makim shenagu shlei lechal. If it's a place that is not customary to eat them, so ein oichlen. You can't eat them. The Gemara asks, Zatu b'minhaga talya milsa? Is this a custom that you're discussing here? It depends on what the custom is. Where it says in, yes, it's dependent on the custom. V'lei kasha, and there's no problem. Ha ba'asr d'shchichi peres v'azniya. This is in a place where peres and azniya are frequent, and therefore we have to be concerned that it may be a peres and azniya. Ha ba'asr d'leishlichi peres v'azniya. But if there's no peres and azniya, those are the two non-kosher birds that each have one sign of being non-kosher. So these could be confused with the shaknai uvitnai. Okay. Reb David, in that second drawer over there, those cards. Yeah. So we're jumping down to Gavalda. Thank you. We're jumping down to Abaya. So far we were doing Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Yochanan. We're going down to Abaya. Third or fourth generation. Here we have new names of birds. Kuai. The Steinsaltz says that that these are probably geese, and he says something interesting. He says that the old vav in Hebrew was a W, and the Yemenites still sound that out. So instead of the difference between a vav and a vase is a V, and a vav is a W in the Yemenite diction. So Abaya says kuai, which is probably pronounced kawai. That's in kakowai, kakuvi, that's a theory. Those are birds that are not permissible. So he says that that's probably the sounds that these geese would make. Kakowai, kawai. That's better. Kakuasa shaya. However, this bird that's similar name but ends with a sa, that's permissible. B'marava malku aloy. In the West, they would give malchus, just someone who had ate this. That means that it's totally forbidden. V'karale tachvasa, and they called it tachvasa. What does this mean to me? I'm not sure. Oh, this is so interesting.
That's what it. Thank you, doctor. Professor. So,
What's the book called?
Look at that.
Zehadavar, Birds of the Torah.
yeah,
What do you have here?
it's for you.
It's good watching
Okay,
when he retires.
should have had this
Oh
morning.
wait, turn around, Rabbi. He's brought an entire library here.
Look at that.
So,
Show and tell.
uh-huh.
Show and tell.
So, no, just one second.
They don't call me professor for nothing.
Just one second. We're the kuai I'm not going to be able to find, but the tinshemes that I should be able to find here.
Shemet is like chof.
Tell me.
Another one,
I
doctor.
think this is the shemet.
Here they say the tinshemes is the bat.
Rabbi Smith,
Back.
here comes another one. Incoming.
Ooh,
What type of bird is it? I don't.
big
recognize.
bird.
Just from yesterday.
My grandkid would say.
It's not like sesame seeds. What's
Yeah,
sesame?
yeah, big bird.
Okay, the next bird that we're talking about is this one here. The bat.
The back.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's it. You see, Professor.
Shkayach.
Now you put it in on the video today. Yitzchak. Oh, this is more interesting, you know.
Okay.
Well, here comes another one. Look at this.
Tachvasa. I won't even know.
We did it to what they call a bird sanctuary. What do you call it?
Bird sanctuary.
Yeah.
I think a field trip is in order.
Maybe, that chipmunk does not
So-
belong in there.
This is a bird that it has a fish in its mouth, but I wouldn't say that's the shalach. The shalach, unless do we know? How do I know what bird it is?
If you go by this one, Rabbi, then you can compare the picture to that.
Uh-huh.
This do the
Where's the duchifas? Because that's what we just had.
Yes.
Okay, good. Here the duchifas, it's very similar to that
Same
one.
to the one in the Gemara.
It has the crest
It looks like
pushed
the
back.
hoop. Looks like the hoopo.
Hoopo. Okay. See, now I understand that the Rebbe told this mathematician that he should put his, he shouldn't separate his math books from his Torah books because it's all. It's all. Now I'm seeing that there's a connection. Okay, Tanu Rabbanan. The rabbis taught tinshemes, which, what did they call it there? A bat? Oh, the Steinsaltz said that it was a barn owl. But okay, we're gonna see. Bais shaba'ifis. The word bais has several translations. One of the translations is that it's the disgusting one of the birds. What does the Art Scroll translate for bais? It depends actually on the word. Okay, good. Same. Ata Aimer Bais Shabaifis. You say that this is the most repugnant of the birds. Ayen ala Bais Shabashatzim. Very interesting. The word tinshemes is listed amongst the birds, and it's also listed amongst the shratzim. The same name. It says V'zelachem atame. If you have your Chumash open and chapter Vayikra Yud Aleph, verse Lamed, it says Va'anaka v'akayach v'alatav v'achemet v'atin shames. V'atin shames. We had v'atin shames back in Pasuk Yud Ches, 12 verses earlier, amongst the birds. The same Hebrew word is a non-kosher bird. It's also a non-kosher creature. Oh, so that's why it's translated as a bat.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you okay? Should I move this over? Okay. Amrit Tseilman Miyudingam Midashater in the Dreshes. Go and learn from the 13 attributes that the Torah is studied in Dreshes Behem. And one of them is Davar Halamid Minyane, something that's learned from context. We have to see what it's referring to. What is the context? What's the pasuk talking about when it says Tinshemes Ba'ifis? Safkan Ba'ifis. When we have that statement in the Brisa that says that Tinshemes is the most disgusting of the birds, well, it's talking about the birds. All the others in that list were birds. The Tanya not mi gabi shratzim, but however we have the ki agavna, we have the same brisa that's referring to shratzim, and it says tinshemes, which is either the mole or the rat or the chameleon. Bais shebes shratzim is the most repugnant of the creatures. Maybe it's the most repugnant amongst the birds. Go and study from the 13 attributes that the Torah is studied, and one of them is davar alamid minyane, something that's studied from context, that's understood from context. And what's the pasuk talking about in pasuk lamed? It's b'shratzim. It's talking about all the rest over there, the lizard and whatever they are. Those are the creeping creatures. Afkan b'shratzim. So the tinshemes is also the most disgusting creature. So it's really both. It's interesting, two separate brises. Amar Abaya. Abaya says, Bais sheba'ifos kifuf. The most disgusting of the birds is the bat. Bais sheba'shratzim is korpedai. The most disgusting of the shratzim is korpedai. I don't have a translation for korpedai, although Rashi says a French word for it. He says talfa. But I don't know what that means.
A mole.
A mole, okay.
It's amazing. They have the picture of the Torah.
Creeping creature. Where? Amar Rav Yehuda.
Rabbi,
yeah.
You have the picture of the Torah and Yonah, but they're different. And Gura. It's very interesting. How they look different.
Different species, man.
This is when the Torah when he's older and Yonah when he's younger. Let's mention that. Now we're going back to Rabbi Yehuda, who's up here. He's the center of the second generation. He says, Ka'as. That's a... Rabbi Yehuda was the one that quoted before the Shalach, right? So Rabbi Yehuda is really the one that's going through the Psukim. And before we said... In the Shalach, the last one, he explained the Shalach, which was Pasuk Yud Zayin. We learned about the Tinshemes. That's the picture of the Shalach.
Oh.
It's
yeah.
It's amazing.
That's the Shalach.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Ooh.
Birds of America.
Calls it the cormorant.
Cormorant. And is that the picture that we had here?
Yeah.
It looks like the same one.
Same.
I don't know. I mean, and then what was? Now we're looking at the Ka'as. It's no, it's with a kuf. Kuf aleph saf. Yeah. Pelican.
Oh, pelican.
That's a common one around here.
And Tinshemes is the common bat. And we're looking now at the Ka'as. So we have Rav Yehuda explaining this. What is the Ka'as? He says, Zuakuk. Okay. Rechem. And Rechem is, a Racham, rather, is Shirakrak. You have a Racham in there? After the Ka'as?
I'm looking for.
Shirakrak.
Yeah, this is the Snunit that we spoke about before.
Yeah, let me see over here. Let's see if we can. They don't have a picture in there, do they?
I'm sure they have.
In the art school. This is the Racham. It's a magpie. See
It's
on
one
there.
on the left.
Yeah.
Sounds British.
That's the Racham. So we're going through. These are the words in the Torah of the birds, and it's saying what they are in his time. Rabbi Yochanan. We're jumping back to Eretz Yisrael. Lama nikar shmai Racham. Why is it called Racham? Kivan sheba Racham bo rachmim la'ilam. That's a sign that the rain is coming. When you see it, it's the sign that there's compassion in the world. I've seen these things in some farmers, like in China, they have these swallow that they when they come in, then they know that it's time to plant certain things, and they do it based on the birds. Amar Bibi Barabaya says, "V'hudi Yosef Amidi v'Avid Shirakrak." This is only if it stands on something, and it makes the Shrak rock sound. You want to go for that?
Schlock rock.
Yeah.
Schlock rock.
Okay, Ugamiri, and we've been taught the Yasav Ha'ara v'Sharak Asa Mashiach, that if it would stand on the ground and it would do it, Mashiach would come.
Wow.
Shnemar Asharka Lahem Va'akabtzein. I'll like whistle to them and I'll gather them. Amalei Ravada Bar Simi Lemar Bar Rav Idoi. Ravada Bar Simi says to Mar Bar Rav Idoi, Vahud Yosef Bekarba, there was one. It sat on the threshing on the floor that was already not threshed, on the area that was plowed. Visharak, and it was whistling. Va'asa Galal, and a Galal over here, Rashi says, is a meteor came. And Afsake Lamaychen, it fell through its brain, it fell through its head. Amalehu Baidahava. That was a false prophet.
Could be false
So are these guys just having fun with us, or is it
Great sense of humor.
really?
It shows Hakobi de Shemaim. Even if the bird would all of a sudden give out sound, but it wasn't meant to be a message. Mina Shemaim comes to Bosco. So it wasn't a boss, it was just a rock.
The confusing part is this. Was this done out of free choice? Was he looking for attention? Was the bird looking for attention, and then he gets killed as a punishment? And do they really have that sort of punishment? Taner Rabbanan. The rabbis taught in the Bais. That's what I would like to say, but I don't know if that's a...
How can it go suddenly or animal?
Look, we said before, Tzidkascha Kaharayel, that God's righteousness for an ant, and we said Mishpatechatayim Rabbah, that there's judgment on which fish is going to get caught. Taner Rabbanan, the rabbis taught in a Braisa, Oyrev, the raven, or actually we said it's the crow. The crow. Zeh Oyrev, this is the crow. Eis kol ha'oirev, when all the pasuk says, and it says Oyrev, it says Eis kol Oyrev leminai. That's verse 15. Eis kol Oyrev, that's an inclusion there. That's lahavi Oyrev ha'amki. That's from the Oyrev from the valley. Leminai is lahavi Oyrev haba b'rosh yonim. That's the Oyrev that comes at the head of the pigeons or doves. Yoina is a pigeon or a dove? Pigeon. Okay. Amar Mar, the master said, this is the way we discuss a brisa. When we go back to analyze it, we introduce it with Amar Mar. The master said, Oyrev, the crow, Zeh Oyrev, this is the crow. Atu kamankai, is it right in front of us that you can translate it like that? Because a minute later you started to discuss other types of crows. So you can't do that unless you have a visual that this is this one and this is that one. You didn't even give us another name for it. Rather, what it means to say is Oyrev, this is the crow, this is the dark one or the black one. The locks are like the braids are black like a crow. Ha'amki, the one from the valley, that's chivra, that's white. When we say a valley, the light looks deeper than the darks. Like if you have black on white, the white will look indented, like lower than the black. I guess the optometrist, they look at your vision. They give you this paper. You have to look through which one's raised above, which one's lower. So, okay, the perspective. If you see things more distant, what's lighter would look further back.
The Alta says 18 mil. You can see 18 mil.
Which one?
The Chayuv.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're going to see something about that soon, but I didn't realize on this. Kamari chama hamukam menatzer, like the sun looks deeper than the shade. We said that there's a crow that comes at the head of the pigeons. Amar of Papa. Rav Papa says that's not the pshat.
Loi tema da asi brasheni. Don't say that it means it comes at the head of the pigeons. Ela de dami reisha le diyaina. Its head looks like a pigeon. You want to show us something over here?
No.
The oiriv and a pigeon. Let's see. This is the oiriv, the crow. And where was the
Pigeon. No. Go to the end. No.
down below? Okay, that's the yaina, and that's the crow, and this is somehow supposed to look the same, at least the one that's called, that we're learning from Leminai. After its own kind, this has a similar head to the pigeon head. Okay.
Which one was the one in the baker's dream by Yosef? Is that the Orav? I don't remember. The Hebrew.
You remember?
Come on, guys.
Was it the Orev? Yeah.
That's all.
The ravens or crows?
Taner Rabbanan. Hanetz. Netz is a hawk, right?
Yeah.
Sparrow hawk. Yeah. So, Zehanetz. That's the hawk.
I'll get you whatever you need.
Now, thank you. The Gemara doesn't ask over here, how are you supposed to do that if you don't have a visual, like we just did before by the Erev. The reason is because the next birds that we're going to list are not called nates. They're called other names. So we only have one bird that's called nates. You can say nates is the nates. The last one we had Erev, and we listed other birds that are also called Erev. So you said that you can only do with the visual. So Lemineu, what is coming to tell us Lemineu to its kind? We're explaining the psukim. L'havias bar chirya. This is coming to include bar chirya. My bar chirya. What is bar chirya? Amar Abaya shirinka. Okay, I don't have any comment on this. I don't know what it is. Amar, does it say anything there that's of interest in the art scroll? Is it a bird that they're familiar with? Shrink. Oh, is that what it says?
It's a psychiatrist. Shrink.
A shrink. Amar Rav Yehuda. Rav Yehuda says, HaChasida, Rav Yehuda's going back to the pasuk. He's up to pasuk 19. The Chasida bird, which is Siconia stork, according to the... You want to find it over there?
Yeah, I'm looking.
Zu Daya Levana. This is the white Daya. Oh, the Daya is another bird.
Yeah, Chasida.
Da'a. Over here we're not going to have it. Over here we only have the Da'a. In Devarim we have the Daya.
Yeah.
Lamana Kushma Chasida. Why is it called Chasida? Sheisa Chasida Simcha V'riseh. Does kindness. It shares its food with its friends.